Well, hello, I'm Steve Gersovich. I'm president of Key Ministry, here together with...
I'm Harmony. I am a consultant with Key Ministry, as well as I am the full-time pastor and director of Outreach and Inclusion at Vineyard Cincinnati in Southern Ohio.
Well, this is part 2 of our video blog series for CM Connect on welcoming families of kids with occasional aggressive behavior. And one of the things that we had talked about in particular, working together with your church, Cincinnati Vineyard, is looking at ways in which one could tailor the children's ministry environments in such a way to minimize or reduce the risk of kids becoming aggressive during the children's programming.
Sure.
So I was hoping you would have some helpful hints to share with our friends in children's ministry about some of the things that they can do to make their programming and to make their campuses a safer place.
Certainly, there are a lot of different things you can do. There are 2 ways to really think of it in terms of your physical space and the people that are actually staffing your space. When we think of physical space, I have a background in interior design, and often what we don't realize is that the space that we're in actually can determine our behaviors, for better or for worse. And so as ministry leaders, we need to walk through our environment and think through in terms of what could potentially trigger a behavior. So some of the things that we've learned, obviously, in working with our friends at Key Ministry, as well as just what we've seen in our own children that come up, is that lighting can be really something that triggers things. If it's overstimulating, that's an environment that can already set someone on edge. The color palette that we use, often when we attract children, we want to make it look like an amusement park. Well, think about the behavior that we see at an amusement park. Is that the behavior we want to see on Sunday morning? Probably not. We do want them to have fun, but there are ways to have fun in an environment that's set up to have them pay attention, be more focused, and probably have more controlled behaviors. So certainly consider that. We also look at actual safety in the room. Do we have things in the room that could potentially become a weapon? It's just something you have to think about. So we look at what are the window treatments, what are the textiles in the room, what are the different things that we have for the activity. So we want to think through that. We also look at the staffing. The people really set the tone for what's going to happen with the children that we serve. And so we're very intentional about having training around what is an aggressive behavior, what's the difference between bad behavior and maybe someone who has a hidden disability and maybe they aren't fully in control of what their reaction is all the time, or could be triggered easier. So we want to make sure that our volunteers understand that there is a difference and that there's a way for us to coach and lead accordingly, so that way when a situation arises, we're prepared and equipped as ministry leaders to make sure that we'll walk that child through that difficult moment in a way that is honoring to them, honoring to the body of Christ and the other people in the environment, and can end well. So we want to make sure we have training. We also make sure we staff accordingly so that we're not so bare bones in terms of our staffing that we don't have the manpower to address an issue should it come up. So we make sure that we have extra volunteers in terms of safety and just looking at the rooms and monitoring what's happening.
So if there are questions that you have about this, we would be more than happy to connect you up with the lovely Miss Harmony, and she would be able to answer any questions that you have about making any modifications or adjustments in your children's ministry environment so as kids who would be prone to aggressive behavior are more likely to have a positive experience.
Absolutely.